Oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, man. It's Tuesday night. It's the GG Factor. Welcome. Thank you so very much for being here with me. Boy, I'm so excited about what's going on tonight around the world today. What's going on economically, what's going on financially, what's going on spiritually, what's going on politically, what's going on in our government, what's going on in sports. That's right, the NBA is on fire right now. Everybody gets fired up about the playoffs. So yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of things that's going on, the trends. What's going on around us right now? The GG Factor, the Gregory Griffith perspective tonight. And I want you to know that it's really a game changer. It's truly a game changer tonight because we got so much going on. Well, I want to start because just a couple of days ago when I stopped the music, we're going to talk about what we just had was Mother's Day. And, in a very positive way, yes, but then in another way, you think about mothers all around the world right now, our global crisis with our children, with mothers and what they're doing just to stay ahead of the curve out here with the war with Iran and the situation is still going on over there with Israel. What's going on out there with the Ukraine? It seems like they're just back in the background right now, but it's still definitely existing. So, hey, when I stop the music, it makes it official tonight, and that's an official stop. Welcome to the GG Factor once again. I'm Gregory Griffith, your host tonight. I'm doing it solo, but next week on the show, we'll have Patricia here, and I'm going to tell you that she's out of sight. I'm looking forward to her bringing her new book that she's released. She and our colleagues back from the James Mellenchamp camp, everybody should have a mentor. He's been one of mine. And through that relationship with him, I met her and so many other wonderful people. A few weeks ago, Joy Simpson was here. So look forward to next Tuesday night. Then coming up on June 2nd, I got Dr. Jacqueline coming in the house, who I met through another mentor, Israel Duran. So tonight, I welcome you to the GG Factor, global entertainment, I call this, because I sit down and I watch Fareed Zakaria is his name on CNN the other day, man. I watched 60 Minutes Sunday night. I just like to be the guy that can kind of bring you a little information and inform you. But as I said, to kick the show off, we might as well do this the right way. Let me make sure I'm streaming live with everybody here tonight. Once again, so I'll make it official. Listen, welcome to the GG Factor. If you just popped up over there on IG, you're on YouTube tonight, LinkedIn, Facebook, we're screaming all over the place. And I want to make sure that I'm in your face tonight because I do feel that what I can say will quantify and it'll give you objectives that you can take a look at tonight. Because you see, if you can't quantify, it's a subjective lie. And I like to be the man that can speak truth to you. And that's the absolute truth. And the truth right now, speaking about the NBA, I want to kick it off on somewhat of a fun little note because, I'm a 25-time marathon. I love sports. I love the competitive edge. And boy, those New York Knicks just swept them boys out of the house. 4-0 sweep, a 30-point blowout the other night. So we'll kick this off on a note about sports. But, man, another note about sports. What was that kid's name? My hostess to Moses, Gout, they called him. Can you imagine this? Just speaking about sports still. This African-American Australian, right, very, very unusual ethnic background, born in Africa, moved to Australia. He's a citizen there now. And let me tell you something, this kid is 18 years old, holds the record right now in the 200 meters. 18 years old. And the reason why I'm bringing him up early tonight is because what I want to talk about will segue right into what this kid is about. He's living his passion. He's already found his purpose, and he's already knocking on the door, and the universe is answering him. He's already got a sports nutrition drink, nutrition powder. Adidas has already given him $4 million. The boy is not even not even a year out of high school. And what's the point I want to make to you tonight? You got to understand something about when you have that WHY. When you find your why, nothing can stop you. And the way things are trending right now, I went out and bought gas today, man. And I looked up and I looked at that per gallon and I said, whoa, $4.99. I said, come on, man, that's a little bit extreme. When just a little over maybe 6-7 weeks ago, it was maybe $3.50-40. Put that in from an economic perspective, what's going on. There's some things trending that we got to pay attention to. And all I'm going to tell you tonight is this. Be like this little kid, Gout Gout from Australia. Find your passion and monetize it. Find your passion and stay ahead of this economic curve, because what we're going through in this country right now, woo, is scary. See, here's something that people are not really paying attention to. They're just feeling the effect from it. So my job tonight will be to kind of, should I say, bring it to the forefront, bring it to your attention, and say to you that you should do this. Now, on CNN the other day, Fareed Zakaria had a gentleman's name is Danny, I want to say Citrinowicz. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that name correct. But the point I want to make, this man is the former head of the Israel Defense and Intelligence. And this man made some very powerful, quantifiable accusations about what's going on right now. How should we deal with the present climate? How should we be retaliating in terms of the war with Iran right now? Do you realize that we have spent, as of today, Hexath made another announcement, $29 billion, the war of Iran. I want to sip my tea and have that sink in a moment. What could you imagine what we could do with $29 billion? I know it's to stop the movement of nuclear activity, but boy, there are a lot of hidden obscurities that people say, we're wondering, is it really necessary? I did a little etiology check. We've been fighting this kind of situation for over 4 decades. And it even goes far back as 1917. Speaking of this global war with people interceding from their perspective. Speaking of the United States, it even started with Russia. And now, fast forward, Roosevelt took in charge of it for a minute. Fast forward, then it went to, who was that? Nixon took a little charge over it. The prisoners of war over there in Iran. What's his name? Kissinger, what he was doing with this situation with Russia during the Reagan era and all those times. Let me tell you something I want to tell you right now. Let's go right to 2026. We give Israel $3.8 billion a year. We've spent $29 already billion in less than 1 quarter, in less than 3 months. We're only about 2 months or so into this war. And you know, I may sound a little naive about this, but I don't know if you remember Edwin Starr. War, what is it good for? They say absolutely nothing, because in the end, it seems to be this ongoing saga. We want to stop the nuclear activity. Of course we do. But look at the domino effect. And speaking of that right now, you know, now that I'm getting a little serious about this, the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz. Our president is meeting with the leader of China this week. China is the largest trader of oil through the Strait of Hormuz. China is a great ally to Iran. Everything is stagnated in that strait right now. And the domino effect of that has been trickled all the way down, especially starting, obviously, with those gas prices and what I just said to you. When I went to the gas tank today, I only got 18 gallons of gas, and it still cost me $93. Now, suppose I would have gotten maybe an empty tank. I had still a little, maybe about a quarter of a tank left for my SUV, but here's the point I want to make to you, boy. We're feeling it. We are feeling it. Not even 2 months ago, it was $3.50, less than what it is right now. And I only got 18 gallons. If I'd have got 20 or more, my tank, I did it a week ago, was well over $100. Let's put that in perspective. I own an apartment building. I got one of my tenants who's a long distance truck driver. And I went to see him when I was in Tampa a few weeks ago. And the guy said to me, Mr. G, man, it's getting kind of tight to get the rent to you because, man, those diesel prices are going up so high. I don't know if I can keep my big wheel out on the road. You think it starts at the Strait of Hormuz? No. It may start there, excuse me. You think it stops there, excuse me. Let me make sure my communication is correct. It's just a domino effect. And that's why I said to you, get yourself some passive income. Find your passion for something you love to do. Now I get to the stats that'll blow you out today that's relative to all of this. Sorry, my music just kind of kicked in again without me doing it. Sorry, thank you. Listen, this finance and economic thing is very powerful. You got to listen to me tonight because the way it's rolling right now and the way we just spending money like it's just turning on a faucet, and you know it's going to trickle back to taxpayers. You know that. No matter what happens, all the goods and services from the terrorists that are being hit by that. All the people who now are spending more than $1.50 more a gallon. Imagine if it was just $1 right now and you get 20 gallons like I did. And that's $20 more a gallon. $1.50, that's $30 more a gallon. $30 more a tank, excuse me. Come on, man. And you know what's happening? And they're talking about it because I think his name was Jason Tartick. He was talking about that today, man. And it was so powerful. The top economic problem that every family in America is screaming about, the cost of living. You hear me talk about the COLA all the time, the cost of living allowance. We try to make sure that it's somewhat in, should I say, in alignment with inflation, but it's not. It's way behind it. Everything keeps going up, and the little pension money they may give you as a raise is not enough. It's not enough. 76% of people in America are the number one reason, the number one thing that's bothering them is the cost of living allowance. What is it costing them to function every week? And I'm telling you, man, when I went to that gas station today and I thought about it, I said, wow, this is scary. And then I thought about my tenant telling me, man, it's killing me, man. He said his diesel gas went up so much, and their gas went up higher than just super unleaded like I got. And you got a big rig out there you're taking around this country. He's an independent contractor, this guy, and he's telling me, I don't know. My profit margins are cut. It's making it harder for me to accept contracts. And it's the same thing with just the domino effect in this country. 76% of people, you might as well say, if you talk to 100 people, 70 of them crying. If you talk to 1,000, 700% are saying it's too much. It's just too much. Everything is going up. Food. We're talking about right now, utilities. We're talking about healthcare. We're talking about education. The parts that make cars right now, a lot of things are stagnated. And everything about those parts is being rolled into the consumer. It's something to think about. 76% of people said their number one concern is cost of living increase. The next sector was the employment concerns. I think the employment rate they're saying is around 13% of the people out of 100% that were polled concerned about employment. And guess what? The thing that we're spending $29 billion a year on, only 10% of the people, if you talk to everybody out there that this man on CNN talked to, only 10% out of that 100% giving a Rudy Poot damn about the politics and the government. And Trump said it today too. You don't care what y'all feel about what the economic climate is for our American citizens. He's supposedly just trying to save the world because of this potential nuclear attack. There's so much we see, but there's so much that we don't see. And the whole thing that's really critically important to understand is this. The man that Fareed Zakaria talked to today, I'm just going to say Danny, because his last name is a little tricky. Danny, who's a former head of defense intelligence, said he's wondering what the next move might be and would it be one that would be of benefit or not? Because he's taking a look at the statistics. He's taking a look at what's been happening right up to this point. And Fareed put it in a game perspective. He said that Trump and Iran playing a game of chicken. It's like they're going at a head-on collision. And he's trying to figure out who's going to be the one to stop, who's the one going to keep going, or will there be head-on collision in this war in Iran. And while we sit here patiently waiting, $226 million in student loans past due. While we sit here waiting, we've got people around here saying that 73% of the people told, man, just feel like this condition we're dealing with we're in poor shape in this country. How long is it going to last? Who knows? I can still remember when I was a kid in college and there were the gas wars. I remember that like yesterday because as a professional musician, even while I was in college, we had to put additional tanks on our vans back then just to be able to tank up enough gas to get from one gig to the next one. All gas stations closed down. They had only certain days if your tag ended a certain number that you could buy gas. And Lord knows we hope we don't revert back to something like that. I want you to sink in on all of this right now because we're on the outside looking in. I'm speaking about people who are just citizens in America. I'm a retired teacher, an entrepreneur, an author and a speaker, and I'm sitting there doing this YouTube show and enjoying myself and giving all glory to God that I can even do this and exercise my freedom of speech. And hope that it will inspire and educate you tonight because what's going on, you got to be a little bit ahead of the curve. Are you ahead of the curve? Do you have some passive income set up? Have you thought about entrepreneurship? Are you truly living your why? Had a little cold bug this week. Excuse me if I have to take a little cough here and there. Here's the point I want to make. There's some very deep statistics out here. And the reason why I'm speaking on entrepreneurship, because it correlates to what we're talking about this war in Iran, the domino effect, when that Strait shut down in Hormuz, and then China, the number one trader over there, is meeting with our government this week. And then we got all these high gas prices, food's going up, your light bill is going up, your water bill is going up, and then everything's going up. So less people are going out because they just don't have the money. And for the first time in American history, we have a billionaire who's president. And I'm beginning to wonder, from a humanitarian perspective, boy, is that really going to be good for us for 2.5 more years? Before the population put Donald Trump in, they were talking about him, that the man has never been in politics in his life. He is the apprentice. And the rest is history. And he's got 2 terms. They call him the architect of January 6th. I don't know. But it was a sad situation under his presidency. There are a lot of things going on around us, man, that all we can do is be reactionary to. We can try to be preventive, but all we can do is react. Even as back to COVID-19. And speaking of that, the reason why I brought it up before I even continue with these alarming statistics about small business and, the numbers that justify why you should be in business for yourself. Let's talk about something that just happened about maybe a week ago. I think the ship is called the MV Honduras. This cruise ship had to be stuck out in the middle of nowhere. 4 people died. This strange, unusual virus. This virus, another one. Very, very, very scary. 42 days. Even these people coming back in now, getting up off this ship. We got to watch them. We don't know if they're quarantined. We don't know what's going on. I'm not Dr. Oz and JFK Jr. and all those people, over there in the medical area of this arena. But boy, when something like that happens and people are just stuck out there in the middle of nowhere and they can't come back in contact with anyone, and God bless them all, man. There are people who have families, people who were just taking a vacation, an excursion. That is why I say to you, you're not guaranteed nothing but to live and to die. You're not guaranteed that you're so, should I say, immune to anything happening to you at random at any given time and place and space. Imagine you went away for just fun and it's over for you. All those people are gone. And they're still trying to get the etiology. They're trying to understand where did this thing come from? How did it happen? Why weren't there preventive measures and further check for this? And that same question was asked about COVID-19. Truly, I'm praying that the people, the powers that be, will continue to do what they need and to do and necessary. And see, I hate to bring it up again, but here it comes back to this. All right, you guys, listen to me. See, the President administration decided they will curtail and cut and delete a whole lot of things that we as consumers who pay them need. Research and development to stop disease. Research and development to just keep things moving in a positive direction. They cut a lot of funding for medical research. They cut a lot of funding for people who just wanted assistance to get better education, jobs. They cut money in places that you wouldn't even believe. And then you have to ask yourself that one little 3-letter word, why? You know, I tell you every week when I'm on the show that I'm a retired teacher and I did 31 years in the system with special needs kids. I have a master's degree in exceptional student education. And tonight is so relevant to this conversation. When I heard how much money they cut for those who are disabled, when I heard how much money they cut for the SNAP program, the government assistance program, old name food stamps, and right here in beautiful South Florida, I got out a little bit ahead of the curve. I'm retired. I'm going into more of my third year now. But man, when I was in the classroom, everybody woke up every year and went back to school, assuming they had a job. But I don't know the exact numbers. I think about 4,500 people in education lost their jobs right now. 4,500 of them. 4,500. Sorry about that. I dropped my book. But I want you to know something tonight. The domino effect of what's going on is going to continue because some people are prioritizing things that we need them, but are they more important than the humanitarian cause of just living tonight? This is what's trending now. This is what's trending and has impact on us. This is what's going on that the people who voted for the president administration are living with right now. A lot of them are crying wolf right now. They're wondering, did I make the right decision to let a billionaire become president? Let the apprentice become president. Did I make the right decision? Do you know how much they pay the president of the United States of America? Anyone know out there? And you ever stopped and thought about that? He don't need it. And I'm sure by the time of the expiration of this presidency, he'll add another billion to what his billionaire status is. He's a money-making machine. And trust me, obscurely, I'm sure just like Cheney and Bush and the boys did when the war went on, a lot of them were helping in the manufacturing of those big machine guns and tanks and things that we know nothing about, but they do. They do. Trump makes $400,000 a year. Almost $500,000 a year. He don't even need it. I wonder what another president might be doing with that money if they were a billionaire like him. He's the first billionaire. So all I can say to you is this. While he's going to pick up over the next 4 years, $1.6 million and move on, throw that over in an interest-bearing account, And you know what they did today, man? And I heard it on The View, and I can quantify it. Dr. Oz wants people to call their kid Trump kids because he's starting this fund, which is a good thing. to take some money and put it in an account that Trump funding. I know some percentage of that money is going to Trump too. It's called the Trump Fund. Okay, so I just want you to understand that it's called the Trump Fund for a reason. He's rolling with it, baby. He's rolling with it. So all we can do in this point right now is you try to get your money and you roll with it. Do you realize that if you do get into the big business arena out here, and this is the statistic I want to share tonight, 47.5% of people are employed in this country under the small business arena. That's a huge cohort. Almost 50% of the people in this country work with somebody that owns a small business. I've had my corporation as a small business owner since 1992 when I started teaching. All it took was 3 paychecks for me to realize, wait a minute, this teaching thing is not going to keep me in alliance with the cost of living allowance. The COLA is slapping teachers around. And even to this day, isn't it a sad shame how much they pay teachers? And I bet you, if you did a statistical data check, how many teachers got some other part-time job? Unless their spouse or significant other is very well off and doing very well. I bet you that. I put my life on it because I know I never would have bought a Mercedes. I never would have even bought a BMW. I never even bought $1 million house. I never even owned a strip mall if all I did was teach kids. And I love it. I don't regret 1 minute of the 31 years. But Gregory Griffith is trying to give you the proper perspective on the economic temperament that's going on in this country. And you got to stay ahead of the curve. Be one of those 47.5 million that are out there, 47.5%, excuse me. But it's 36.2 million people who work under the umbrella of the small business arena. 36.2 million small businesses employ 47.5% of the people in America. You better become one of them, or you're going to become a victim of circumstance. Even if you got a pension, even if you got Social Security, and you're on a fixed income. Talk to your kids about this right now. My granddaughter's about to graduate high school, and I'm going to really have another talk with her. Are you sure about where do you want to put your next 4 to 5 years of your life? Will AI impact your job? Do you all realize that most of these jobs, that's what's going on with a lot of the people who don't have jobs, or people who are right now out of that $226 million in loan debt that's out there right now. I bet you 50% of those people are not even working in a related area. And they got a giant, who knows, high 5-6-digit amount of debt to pay back. That's scary, man. That is scary. And when this guy, his name is Jason Tartick, when he said that 76% of people, 7 out of 10 you talk to, worried about the cost of living. That should be like a red flag going off, that you got to get activated. You got to live from that P3 theory that Gregory Griffith talked about. I've been on it for about 25 minutes. I think it's time for me to segue. I put it in the comments there, and you can go to it. I offer opportunities for people. I'm offering an opportunity for you to take my what I call 30, 60, 90-day challenge. I'm a 25-time marathoner, and I'm the author of 2 books, and both of them are on time management and peak performance. And one of the things I want to share with you is that I have something called the Get Activated Community. I'm offering you the opportunity to take a 30, 60, 90-day challenge. My low-end Get Activated Community is only $97 a month. My high-end 30 days to new you, what I call MPC, is $997 a month. Maybe you need a mentor. Maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need to discover how do you get ahead of the economic curve. On Thursday night, the Strive Masterclass helps you look at the who, what, when, where, and why in your life. Look at the relationships in your life and realize, are you functioning at your maximum potential? Have you discovered your why? Or are you on top of your game? Are you ahead of the curve? You know, as me running 25 marathons, I call life a marathon, metaphorically speaking. because you're going to have to run life's marathon as you're doing them in the training for a marathon. One little accolade at a time. I remember when I couldn't run 1 mile, and now I've done it 25 times, 26.2 miles. I can help you run life's marathon to success. See, the bottom line is very simple. If you got the intention, but you don't activate it, you're going to stagnate. My second book is called, that I'll flash for you, Activate or Stagnate. And I've got what I call the GG factors in here, like this show is called. And the GG factors are real stories about Gregory Griffith, about my life, about what I've gone through, and I'm sharing it with you because you know something? I'm so grateful that something, I'm going to say my big brother just touched Gregory Griffith. Nelson Griffith touched me. He touched my life at a very early age. I watched him become an entrepreneur. I watched him open a nightclub for our family when I was just a kid in college. I watched him start to buy little houses around the neighborhood. Now he owns a full city block. I watched him be a teacher. I became a teacher. And one of my friends, shout out to him, man. Just a guy like me, man, is doing what he's doing. Daryl Hodge called me up the other day and said, hey, man, we need to go into those classrooms. There's something we need to do to give these kids awareness about what's going on around us out here. A very, very sad statistic that I think about 40%, they say, of African-American families are single parent in this country. I'm one of them. I didn't meet my father until I was 50 years old. But shout out to my mom, because we just had Mother's Day. She was an entrepreneur, and she worked in the school system too. And she realized that it wasn't enough money, and she got Mom's Kitchen on Wheels. She became an entrepreneur, catering to truck stops, feeding the homeless at the end of the day, and did it until she was 85 years old after she stopped being a teacher assistant. Never went to college. 5 children. My older brother Nelson, my sister Pansy, their dad was military. She got blessed with a government Veterans Administration thing to help her out. But our mom believed in herself. Their mom started buying houses too and renting them out, and gave my sister Pansy one to live in. Let me tell you something, man. If you didn't come up around it, make sure you can introduce your kids to it. My son Gregory Griffith Jr. became an entrepreneur in real estate. My son Jonathan Gregory Griffith just bought his brand new home and took the one he had, and now he's leasing it out. And the point I'm trying to make to you, lead by example. His first cousin, Kamika Stakes, say, Uncle G, you showed me by your example. And now Chris Kamika Stakes is about to be a huge mogul in this real estate industry. Shout out to you, Chris. He came home one summer, came home another summer. Every time he came home, he saw me buying a new property. He saw me buying an apartment building. He saw me buy a strip mall. He saw me buy multiple single-family homes. He saw me buy the apartment building I still own. And here's the point I'm making to you. These numbers are mostly reflecting what we better do the right thing about. Make your statistics positive. Speaking to parents right now, Daryl Hodge talked to me and said, man, we need to go into these classrooms and educate these kids about what nobody's teaching them in the framework of education, how to be ahead of the curve and survive out here. It's business, man. It's scary. Sorry, let me wait with you guys. Thank you for showing up, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, there's a real serious need right now for education about post-school adult living. I worked in a program called the PASS program in high school. My job was to train young teenage kids with disabilities how to get jobs and keep them and make sure they could do it after they leave school. And I was honored to have that job. They paid me pennies. Just like I was a cross-country coach for 7 years, paid me pennies. I didn't mind giving back. 31 years as a teacher. I probably made more money in 10 years than all the money I made teaching just through real estate alone and working as an entertainer. Found my passion. found my purpose, and the universe still been doing what? Giving me the opportunity to take care of myself. And all I'm saying to you is just pass it on, man. Help somebody else recognize that this is that time now. This is that place right now. Things are very, very fragile. I'm using me, my family, my kids, and everybody around me as an example. See, you can't stop genetics, but you can control environment. You can't stop genetics, but you can control who you are and the role model you are, even if you are a single parent. I'm blessed that my brother was like the dad I didn't have. There's so many young kids, not just African Americans, just young kids don't have a dad around. And no matter what you're doing, mom, there's nothing like the fatherly love. No matter what you're doing, dad, there's nothing like a motherly love. My mom passed away 2 days before her 99th birthday. My father died that I finally got to meet at the age of 50 at 87 years old. Knew him for maybe almost 10 years of my life. And now I understand why I have some of the things going on with me. People think I'm in the military. I went to the military or was in the military. My dad was retired colonel. 33 years in military. The first Army medic to fly in Vietnam in a helicopter, a black man, the first one of the first one. I didn't even know who he was back then. My mom and dad met, briefly had an affair. I popped up. My dad never knew he could even have kids biologically. This is the absolute truth. Every one of his children were adopted. I wrote this book, invited my sister to my house. She went back with the book. A friend of hers in the police department, my sister Linda, shout out to her, love her to this day for this, Tanya. At the eulogy of my father when he passed away, I had Linda stand up. I had Tanya stand up. And I said to them, dear God, I said, thank you for these two people and what they've done to bring me to my dad. I met him because of this book. She took that book home to her friend. She said, oh, no, that's Uncle Bill's son. And the rest is history. I met my dad and didn't even know who the hell he was. He hired me to do a gig for the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. I'm a Kappa. They called me up. After I met him that night, I even know he was my dad. I had a good idea. Shout out to Rachel Brown. She said, that man looked just like you, G. And you know what? I didn't see him for another 5 or 6, 7, 8 years of my life, almost. Several years, many. And then I wrote this book and we connected. And the rest is history. You can't stop fate. And that was the last words I said to my sister and Tanya, and I had them embrace each other at that eulogy of William Hill Hammond. I got my genes the way I look. I got Mother SMA smile. I got cognitive abilities from both her and my dad, and I'm moving on. And tonight I want you to know this, that please embrace parenthood. Lead by example, my friends out here, especially my African-American friends. Please lead by example. I'm proud to say both my sons are college graduates, that my granddaughter, my only granddaughter, is headed to college. That both of them are healthy young men, beautiful, vibrant wives. Shout out to Angie for being a wonderful mother to Alyssa. The point I'm making is this. There's a job to be done. And the job is critical in America now because of what we're experiencing. While I have the GG factor in a solo position like this, I like to just use me as an example a lot of times because people seem to think that they got to keep looking out there. My job as the activator, if you can see my little logo behind me, if you get close on that logo, it's a picture of somebody running a big A. Theactivator.net is my website. I want you to come on over to my camp. Come on into it. If you take my 30, 60, 90-day challenge, I'll give you 1 month free. At $97 a month, entry level. That's like taking $3 a day and doing this, just dropping it in a cup. Are you worth $3 a day? I just want that to sink in. Are you willing to invest $3 a day for the next 3 months and get 1 month free from me? Take my personal assessment. Go to theactivator.net. That assessment will come to me. We will sit down and analyze your pain points, your toxic areas, your toxic environments, the toxic people. We'll find out why this right here is not going to change 24/7, 168 a week. That's my job as the activator, to fire you up and get you in alignment. Because see, by default in America right now, the great majority of people, I'm almost certain, are living with organized chaos. And that chaos is a silent killer because it creates stress. And when I say organized chaos, living out of alignment. My Thursday night Strive Masterclass will offer you the opportunity to find your pain points, find your weak areas, find your areas of concern, find the places where you're out of alignment, and put them in place and become a better version of yourself. The Strive Masterclass, your who, what, when, where, and why, the relationships in your life are what I look at. We find them. Where do you have strengths? Where do you have weaknesses? Is the fear of failure winning the game? You're stagnated because you're scared to step out of the box of complacency. I use this forum tonight because I like to have the reality check that I know I can give people, because I got one. I got one. And you know, I'm retired from the school system, but man, I ain't slowed down, man. And I'm on a mission of a humanitarian cause, as you can tell. I want to help people become better versions of themselves. I want people to define themselves. I want people to activate their true identity, what I call their AI. I want to help you get your AI, your authentic identification, activated. Don't you want to be a better version of yourself? Don't you deserve that? Don't you want to leave a legacy? I ask this question every week on both my shows. And this is a loaded question, and it's not complicated to answer. It is even not as complicated to do as you would think, especially if you're a young person and you got time. Because time is like money, you can't waste it. Spend it wisely and you'll be a winner. I'm going to say that once again. Time is like money, don't waste it. It's like money, don't waste it. Spend it wisely, and you'll never work harder than your money works. If you know nothing about compounded interest, the rule of 72, the things that you need to do now, if you're 25 years old and you just got a job and you put money away, don't touch it. Trust the process. If you do touch it, it must be something that you're going to invest it in. Don't just touch it and spend it. When COVID-19 hit, boy, I'm so glad I even had an insurance policy. I could go and get money if I wanted to. Boy, I'm so glad I had passive income so I could go somewhere and still have some kind of income. The school system shut down. All jobs and everything, man. People still had to eat, sleep, and live. Get you a product, get you a service, and be die hard to this economy right now. It's scary. Because I don't think we have an administration who's truly showing us that they're there for what I call the full spectrum of attention to what humanity is all about. And we're not just about a war that you spend $29 billion on while people are starving all over the world. This lady's name, and I got to go and segue into it right now because it's so critically important at this moment. What's that lady's name, Maru? I know I wrote it down, and I don't want to disrespect who she is. What is that lady's name? Where is that numbers on her? Well, put it this way. Where is that card, man? Don't do this to me right now. I really wanted to share this in a very respectful way. This lady's name is Yanti. I can't call Yanti's last name correctly, but she is CEO of Save the Children. And it's so relevant to what we're talking about right now. She did a quantifiable analysis and got data to support it. 34 million children are hungry around this world. That guy's name is Andres, who had Feed America, Feed the World, whatever his organization is called. The sick people in war stopped one of his trucks, killed some of his people, and all they were trying to do was feed people. You know, and this lady, she is living for a cause that's beyond you and I. She's an incredible human being. I'm sorry, I really wanted to get the stats together tonight to share with you about Yanti. That's her name. Yanti is an incredible human being. Why would this happen to me right now when I really want to have that stat tonight? And I don't see it. I wanted to give you the numbers, but here's the point I want to make to you. She's one human being like our Mother Teresa. She's one human being like Gandhi. She's one human being like MLK. She's one human being like a Barack Obama. One human being like a JFK. One human being that decided she wanted to make a difference about something that's very simply feeding children. And she went out there on a mission. And the point I'm making to you is this. When we got things going down like the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz and you know, the domino effect. See, the only reason why everybody paying attention to that is because when that oil went up like it did, and then the domino effect from all that oil prices went to everything else. When you're going out there, like I gave you all an example earlier, and you spending $30 more on a gallon, on a tank of gas, and that was not, I mean, that's 20 gallons. My truck goes to 25 gallons. So in actuality, it's more money than that if you flat on E. People stop going out. People stop shopping. People stop doing things. People stop getting subscriptions to things they don't need. People stop going to the food store. People stop going to restaurants. People slow down their travel. And we're in this quagmire of just I mean, like a roller coaster of economic things going on. And that's why I gave and still will give you the alternative is that you start monetizing your passion. You start finding things that you know against all odds, that product or that service is still needed. No matter how much they slow down, they're not going to stop buying food. They're still not going to stop totally going to restaurants. Oh, yeah, some people out here who still got money will support those vacation resorts and all those other things, these sporting events. And you know, the sad reality is this, and this is why I want to make sure I hit home correctly about this. See, the domino effect of all of this stops at a certain point with certain cohorts of people. And they're the everyday folk like you and I. You really think billionaires worried about this? And now Trump is a billionaire. He said it today. He was blatant and almost nasty about it. He almost wanted to say, I don't give a damn about the economics of everybody else. He was just, I watched him and looked at him, and his whole demeanor was like, oh, that means nothing to me. I ain't thinking about what's going on in this country, y'all. I'm over here spending $29 billion just trying to stop something that they're saying is nuclear and we need to stop it. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. But boy, to the expense of $29 billion? Woo! Netanyahu, the prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, did a first-time interview since the war started on 60 Minutes, excuse me. As I get ready to wrap up tonight, I want you to know this. When you listen to this man, first and foremost, when he acknowledged, aside from the $29 billion we spent, do you know how much money we give Israel every year? And I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm just saying now, because of the domino effect of everything else that's going on, all these programs cut, all this cut back here, cut back there, but you still gave him $3.8 billion a year. I'm throwing these numbers out here to you all because this is real stuff. This is the Gregory Griffith perspective from quantifiable data. We are shipping all the way over the world $3.8 billion, and we cutting the back on the disabled. We're cutting back on food. We're cutting back on the kind of care that just people who are entry-level people, the people who are part of that 47.5% of people who work for small businesses, the 36.2 million small businesses in this country. When we impose those tariffs, and everything now, just like the Strait of Hormuz, stagnated. And people were just crying wolf because Trump just shot tariffs to the roof on so many people on these imports. coming in here from other countries. Once again, the hidden obscurities around the economic inelasticity of that movement. There's a paradigm shift going on, man, and we can't do anything about it but deal with it. You see, people are feeling the pain of the cola as it continues to fall short of what's going on from an inflationary perspective. I'm going to say that again. People are feeling the pain of the COLA, the cost of living allowance, that continues to fall short. They're just not giving people no more money. Everything keeps going up, but there's not enough more money fueling the government's the economy. It's just not. And when they took this census about people and their concerns, remember I said 76% of people said what? My economics around my living conditions. Only 10% of the whole America that was polled from this study cared about government, cared about politics. And it's clearly understood. Here's another alarming statistic, because I want to quantify tonight. Can anybody tell me what percentage of voting people in America don't vote? 40%. 4 out of 10 people registered to vote don't. But we feel the impact of the people who somebody elected. Definitely wasn't me. That's scary. That's scary because it takes you back to January 6th. It takes you back to when people got power like they do, and all these people who elected those people who have that power, they rallied around that action. I mean, do y'all realize that they went to our government and went to destroy? They just took control in a manner that was scary. They were saying kill Pence. They were just this was scary. It was a horrific thing, man. So my question is, if those 40% of people who didn't vote might have voted, you think we ever would have had a January 6th? Do you think we would even have a situation like we got right now? Because so many people are questioning the actions of the presiding government. Is it really, really worth what we're doing now? You and I both know what we could do with $29 billion. And I'm not saying we should never have wars. Wars will never not be. That's just life. But what I am saying is, what about the alternative? And not to mention, and the casualties of war, they're calling Netanyahu this. This is what they're saying. They're saying that he just seems to love conflict. And there was something I wrote down I want to share with you all that really kind of bothered me also. You know, they were saying that he's a serious victim of war crimes to innocent civilians. That's what war crimes are right now. Not all these innocent people who've been bombed that had nothing to do with this war. They just happened to be who they were, where they were at that time. When these drones go up and drop these bombs and whatever else has been happening. They saying that Prime Minister Netanyahu just loves conflict. It's something and then he said something too. I remember I'll tell you, he was just on 60 Minutes the other night, first interview. He did this. I don't have my phone here because I'm using it right now for streaming. He held his cell phone up, and you know what he said? That boy, and I hope y'all hear me clearly tonight that I'm 50 minutes into the show. He said, a cell phone is the eighth wonder of the war. And you know why? The negative effect of social media and what people can do all around the world to just spread something that may be very subjective and not true. But a huge cohort follows it. And it's happening. And he said it in a way that hit home to me, man. And I said, ooh, he's right. I don't even want to get into the negative effect of cell phones, period. Just the horrible data that supports them right now in terms of the negative effect, especially our young people. That cell phone. And when he brought up that alarming statistic, and that guy Danny Citrinowicz is his name, the former head of Israel intelligence, the way he was speaking about the approach that's being taken and what the alternative might be. That Fareed Zakaria GPS, if you're not doing nothing, put it on record and come back and watch him later. This man is a global expert. He is a global expert about what's going on, the ramification of the action, how it impacts us, how we can respond to it, and what's the alternatives. And this former specialist about this says he hopes that enough point-blank research and development is in place to be ahead of that curve, because right now it's iffy. It's very suspect. So as I wrap it up tonight, I'm going to say this to you. You have a choice on how you respond to everything that's going on around you. I always say that if you work on your AI instead of letting artificial intelligence just totally run you, don't get me wrong now. We have to use it. We have to. It's not going anywhere. It's going to continue to be here. It impacts us. It's creating jobs. It's taking jobs. I'm not against AI at all. I'm just wondering, boy, how can you be ahead of the curve? And I call it the P3 theory. You find your passion. That'll be your purpose. And you knock on the door, and I know the universe will answer you. Back to that little guy, Gout, the black kid from Australia.
And guess what he had? He had a great mentor.
Yeah. A white woman in the school system, a PE teacher, saw this kid running faster than all of his friends. This woman was 72 years old. This kid was in 7th grade. She saw him in middle school and started coaching him. When he went to high school, he said, that's going to be my coach. He's now training for the Olympics. That's going to be my coach. Pour into someone. She found that this boy had this passion. And you know what it reminded me of? And I'm going to use my family right now. My young nephew, Nevin Griffith, would come to visit me in my old home over in Rock Creek in Cooper City, Florida. Nevin would come and visit me, and in the back in Rock Creek, there were many creeks back there. And on one particular evening, we all had maybe a 4th of July visitation or something like that. It was a holiday. It was some reason the whole family came to my house to hang out. And Nevin, my son Jonathan, other family members who had young kids, we all went, Jesse, Nevin, all of us just went running to the back there. There was a little course back there, a Vita course everybody loved about the house, because you literally could walk out into a giant playground behind us. And the creek was down there. And that particular night, here's the story I want to share with you about the relationship to gout, and passion, and discovering someone and what they do. My little nephew, who was about maybe 10 years old back then, started throwing some rocks. Pew! He threw a rock. I threw a rock. Jonathan threw a rock. Jesse threw a rock. And we all looked at Nevin and said, whoa, man, you threw that thing a long way, buddy. And then we did it again. Then Nevin threw it again. I went back in the house. I said, man, do you all realize the arm this boy got here? And the rest is history. At the age of 18, signed a professional baseball contract. One of the youngest kids throwing a 95-mile-an-hour baseball. He found his passion. Nevin Griffith. Activated a purpose back then. Watch your kids. My sister Ruby Baker. I heard her singing in the house at 12 years old. 4 or 5 months later, she our lead singer in my first band at the age of 16. I still play music. I still can go out and make money with that passion. I'm Gregory Griffith. Everything I told you tonight was an absolute quantifiable, subjective, statistical data shared with you. If you can't quantify, it's a subjective lie. I start with music, I end with music. Once again, I'm going to invite you out to my Thursday night Scribe Masterclass. I want you to come out though next Tuesday night. Patricia will be in the house sharing her brand new book. She's a spiritually blessed woman. You don't want to miss the Gigi Factor next Tuesday night. Please be in the house. Hey, subscribe to the channel. Tell someone about what we're doing here to inform people. Tell somebody about what we're doing to help them recognize so they can make the necessary adjustments. You know, because you know something? One thing won't change, and I'll say it and end this with you. The only limitation is just to the ones you place upon yourself. If you say I can, it's a sure shot that you won't. If you say, aha, yes I can, yes I will, yes I must trust the process. I'm going to activate my passion. I'm going to live it with purpose. I'm going to knock on the door to the universe, and I know those infinite possibilities for me to find my AI. That's the job that you should have in life. Please subscribe to the channel. Just go to Gregory the Activator, click subscribe, check out some of our previous episodes. I'm celebrating 1 year doing this show right now, and it's been really great. I love doing the solo shows, but I'm also looking forward to, once again, next Tuesday night, Patricia will be in the house. You don't want to miss it. He's got a great new book, a great new story to tell. And remember this, Michelle Obama said it tonight, as we wrap up about 1 hour of this, your story matters. She told a group of young African-American teenage girls this. Well, guess who she was sitting and talking with? Oprah Winfrey. Two very powerful African-American women who made it happen. Have you seen Michelle Obama's daughters? Have you seen what they're doing with their lives post the White House? Woo! Cap off to them, baby. Oh, speaking of cap, I think I'll pop it on tonight. The activator was in the house, and he's saying good night to you. Be blessed.